we're going to take a first look at the newly released, just launched, Hello Cup Low Cervix model. Hi, it's Kim from Nirvana, and today I am very excited to bring you a first look at the new Hello Cup Low Cervix model. This just released, and I've been able to play with it and get a look at it before it was available to the public. And I will also be carrying this as of today on period.shop. So you can purchase it there if you're in the US. But even if you're not, please stick around because there's more information about the new model. As always, the Low Cervix Hello Cup comes packaged in their beautiful cardboard tube packaging, which is the same as their other models that they sell. You can get it in the singles, so you could just get the small medium alone, you could get the large, or you can get a double, which would have both of these to try out in one package. It is worth doing a duo pack if you're new to the brand, or if you're just new to menstrual cups. Sometimes it's nice to be able to see which one fits better. Now, if you are familiar with the Hello Cup brand, they make really fun, colorful TPE cups that have the signature toggle stem. But as I've pointed out in a video before about the Hello Cup at my old channel, the toggle is not really something that you want to cut off. I mean, you can, technically. You probably need some very powerful scissors because this is all solid. And you can, but you would not get that same easy stem removal that you would with something like a silicone cup that has a very thin stem. So if you like stems, the Hello Cup is a nice cup, and this is a comfortable toggle, and it's rounded, so it isn't pokey. This video obviously is not about this, but just to point it out. You can't really remove this. So what they've done is taken their style of cup and they've made it stemless. And stemless cups I actually love because I almost always cut the stem off of my cups. But in this case, it just is already removed. And they've made it a little bit shorter if you had been able to remove the stem on the Hello Cup. So these are comparable sizes, but this comes in at a shorter level. Same for this compared to their large size, it's slightly lower. Also still made from that TPE, which is thermoplastic elastomer. It is a medical grade material. It just acts differently than a silicone. When it's worn, it warms to your body's temperature and is very firm on insertion, so it opens pretty easily, but it wears more like a softer cup. So this material does have its own advantages over medical grade silicone. A lot of people think of TPE as being only for people with a silicone allergy. I don't really think that's the case. I think it's a nice option. So just to give you a look at why a low cervix cup exists, if, for example, this person had only this amount of runway, so to speak, they would not be able to use a cup like the Lily cup, which takes up that entire real estate. They would have it hanging out of their bodies, and that's not going to work. Everything of your menstrual cup needs to be inside your body. So something like a Hello Cup Low Cervix or whatever low cervix model that you're using, if this is where it goes, this is the entrance, this will fit. There are other cups with low cervix models, and this would be a Maluna, which is also TPE, and this is a tiny one. So there's several options for low cervix cups, but I will show you the Hello Cup with some of the other brands that you're probably familiar with. This is the Juju Low Cervix. It's hard to get in the US, but some people have been buying it from places that ship worldwide. And so you can see the Juju next to the large Hello Low Cervix. The Juju does have a little stem. People can leave it or remove it. They can clip that off. And these are here the diameters compared. So the Juju only has one size for their low cervix. This is the small medium to the low cervix Juju. So it is a narrower diameter, but about the same length if you remove the stem, slightly shorter. Now, the other newer low cervix model that I really like is the Guppy from Cotton Mermaid. And so this is their small or size 1. I think they call it a size 1 compared to the small medium Hello Cup. The small medium Hello is just a little bit longer. This one does have a stem. Once you trim the stem on the size 1 guppy, it would be shorter than the small medium. And this one is narrower. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you need a wider rim for your cervix to dip, you might want the guppy. If you don't need that, then you might want the Hello Cup because this is not really likely going to allow for the cervix to dip into it like this one would. And it is a narrower cup, so it might be more comfortable for you. And then this is their size 2 guppy from Cotton Mermaid, and then this is the large Hello Low Cervix. This one is slightly narrower again in the diameter at the top, but still sizable enough that I think you'll likely be able to have the cervix dip if needed. So if you are in that boat, you might want to size up in the Hello Cup Low Cervix model. And again, it is slightly longer than the guppy if you had trimmed the guppy stem. Guppy, this is their firm. And so it's, TPE is quite firm. It is a firmer acting rim than the guppy. And this is their firm model for sure. So like I said, the TPE does function more like a softer silicone in the comfort and wear because of the way it kind of softens during wear. But it has that advantage of opening like a firm cup. So when you would put it in, you want to just be careful because there's no stem that as you put it in, it is angled still the right way and it should open. And I found it very easy in my trial with it to just reach in and kind of push and help the rim open, and that was all it took. It was just a very simple kind of maneuvering here from the base to make sure that the rim popped open. And I did try it. So it came when I wasn't on my period, and I knew I wouldn't have a period before it launched. So I wanted to give it what we call a dry run in the industry, and you could do this as well if you're new to cups and you want to try something out just to get the hang of folding and inserting and removing before you actually go for the full trial when you're on your period. When it was time to remove, that's when I really wanted to film it because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It could have been easy or it could have been a disaster. I don't wish for disasters, but I decided to film it, and here it is. I almost forgot that I was testing this not on my period, so we're gonna this is way easy. So it's really easy. It's easier than I thought. So it was high, but it's already out. And put it in the sink. This is my favorite. It's my favorite bathroom for removing cups. So that was so easy. I was nervous because it's low and no stem, but when you pinch it, there's like something to grab still. Easy peasy. Yeah, so speaking on that removal, I do show you that TPE holds its shape. I wanted to show you something that happens with these TPE cups, and since this has been in the oven, so to speak, for 12 hours, you can see what happens is that the TPE cups can mold to your shape, and I am an oval, and so this can lead to leaks if you do not reshape it. And you can run it under hot water. Once the water finally warmed up, I was able to do the running under warm water, roll it between your hands, get it to round. So if you are new to TPE cups or have never tried one before and you remove it and it looks like this, like it did for me, it's very common. So just do the advice of this and it will get it back to shape. If you don't do that and you insert it when it's still oblong or whatever your shape is, my vagina is an oval, your vagina might be an octagon. Who knows what it's going to come out like, but if you don't, it's not going to necessarily fit back in there right where it was, where the oval is, and so you'll have leaks. The Hello Cup Low Cervix does also have small suction holes. The tip I always give people, if these get gunked up and have some menstrual fluid in them, you want to clean them out before you put it back in. Fill it entirely with water, put your hand on the top, flip your hand, be in the sink, the bowl, and squeeze. And that will push out any detritus that is in the holes, blocking it, because you do want this for a good seal and a good suction. Going back to trying it out, it was so comfortable. I loved the Hello Cup comfort level, but without being able to remove the stem, it wasn't always a good fit for me. But I liked that it did sort of mold to my shape. I had some leaking issues at first when I tried the other model. Got some tips on how to get it back to shape from the brand themselves, and it worked out much better for me. Same story, except the learning curve was shortened because I'm used to using the TPE cup. I've used the Hello brand before. I knew what I was getting into. I didn't have to worry about leaking because I wasn't on my period, but I knew how to maneuver the cup to use it. And on my dry run, I forgot I was wearing it. I had to remind myself. I actually almost forgot to take it out before bed. And so I was laying in bed watching TV and I'm like, shit, I need to take out that cup. And because regardless of whether you're on your period or not, you need to take it out after 12 hours. So I went and removed the cup and found it to be easy to remove. There's like a kind of a nub that you can grab once you get the pinch. And my cervix is like average, sometimes a little lower than average. It's certainly not a high cervix, but I was still worried that I wouldn't be able to reach it. It was high, but it wasn't unreachable for me. So you definitely want to match the cup length to your body, because if you were to try this cup and you have a high cervix, with it not having a stem, you might have a hard time finding it and reaching it. So you definitely want to make sure you qualify for a low cervix cup when you try one. Average cervixes seem to be just fine. I'm average. I was using their large size and I was able to reach it pretty well and get it out no problem. And I would actually use this cup. I want to try it on my period because I found it super, super comfortable. And I was happy that it wasn't hard to remove considering it didn't have a stem. I definitely want to try this again when I'm on my period just because I think it might be a good cup for me. Comfort-wise, it was amazing. So I would like to try it when I can actually test if it leaks or not for me. So I think that's all. I am, like I said, super excited to have one more option, and I was the first in line to order it for the shop to have it and carry it for US customers, so you can order that from me. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, and you might be, make sure you subscribe. I'll be posting new menstrual cup, new menstrual disc content, new reviews. I'm actually excited. I'm going to be talking about bidets soon, so stick around and look for that video because it is a game changer for menstrual cup or menstrual disc users. I have no idea where it's been all my life, so that's something to look for. You can also find me on Instagram. I love posting over there. You can find short videos and tips. That is at Period Nirvana. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a page, and I also have a group. It's called Period Nirvana Community. Just search that up, and you'll find it right away. Make sure you leave a comment, like this video. That would help tremendously. I am a new channel. It really helps with the growth, so anything you can do about that would be amazing. Tell your friends. And that's it. Thanks so much. Bye. I'm Kim. My name... So many lights. It's Kim from... Nope. Than their other sizing, so it's hard to have good posture.